Welcome to the Watch List podcast, where we're going to watch a bunch of movies and talk about a bunch of movies and hopefully make our watch lists shorter and shorter and shorter, even though I keep adding to them every single day. Today, we're talking about Days of Thunder, which Israel got to pick.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the podcast, the Watchlist podcast. This is episode number 8, I believe. Yes, I forgot to check. Yes, it is episode number 8. That's actually kind of crazy. We've been doing this for 8 weeks now. As I mentioned, we're talking about Days of Thunder this week, which Israel picked. I'm Obed, and the only other person with me on the episode today is Israel.
Hello, hello, hello.
You haven't been on the show in a hot minute, bro.
I've been busy.
We noticed.
Beyond, or I just haven't been able to watch the movie, and then I had the slot open for the recording, but I just hadn't seen the movie.
Right. Yeah. I know next week's going to be crazy for the two of us, so we'll see what happens. I just pitched recording a couple days later, and I'm going to have to watch the movie in pieces. We'll see how that goes. Well, welcome back. We've definitely missed you here.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. We miss everybody when they're not here. So we're always missing someone. Yeah, okay. So we watched Days of Thunder this week, which almost everyone else is not on the show, did watch it. Timing just didn't work out.
Bruh.
But share us your thoughts since you picked it.
I am a big NASCAR fan, and obviously Days of Thunder is a NASCAR-based movie. It's the best NASCAR movie. Now, I know you're going to say Cars, but Cars is based on and inspired by NASCAR. This is an actual NASCAR movie. So between Cars and Days of Thunder, Cars is still better. But I think Days of Thunder is the best NASCAR movie because there's only 2 other ones. And it's Talladega Nights, which is not a great representation of NASCAR. It's a very bad stereotype.
Wait, what was that name again?
Talladega Nights.
Talladega Nights. That's interesting. Okay.
Ever watched because it's really obscure. But yeah, this movie, I love it. It's fun. It's great. It has Tom Cruise, so he does his thing. It's like Maverick, but for NASCAR, kinda.
That's exactly the vibe I got when I was watching it. The intro alone, I was like, oh, this is just Top Gun for cars. Talladega. Oh, I've seen clips from this.
Yeah, it's interesting to say the least.
I will be linking it in the show notes. Dang. Okay, before we continue, I forgot to read information regarding this film.
Oh no.
So I'm going to do that really quickly. I got notes from my sister. She's like, you should read who's in the movie and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, bruh.
It doesn't matter too much to me. Sometimes, but I do have it all pulled up. Sometime. That might have been insensitive. All right, JK.
No, Abuelo was a little Mexican, so.
Oh, that's true. We can make those jokes. Cool.
Exactly.
Again, Days of Thunder is the movie we watched. It has a runtime of 107 minutes. It was released in the year 1990, so a long time ago. It is PG-13. It was directed by Tony Scott. Its genres, according to Letterboxd, are action, adventure, romance, drama, and comedy. That's a whole lot of stuff. And it is streaming on Pluto and Paramount Plus as of recording this. Last but not least, its IMDb and Letterboxd ratings are 6.1 out of 10 and 3.1 out of 5, respectively. And its cast includes Tom Cruise as our lead as Cole Trickle, Nicole Kidman as Dr. Claire Lewicki, Robert Duvall, Randy Quaid, Carrie Elwes, Michael Rooker, Fred Thompson, John C. Reilly, J.C. Quinn, Don Simpson, and a whole bunch of other names that I don't necessarily recognize. But yeah, let's take a look at what else the director has made. Oh, he made the original Top Gun.
Well, that makes sense.
That explains a lot. Yeah, he made the original Top Gun 4 years earlier. Cool. All right. Sorry, I completely forgot to do that. I'm looking at it in my notes to make sure I hit that, and I forgot. And also, this is not a spoiler-free show, so we're going to spoil the movie. What were we going to say?
Thing where it did not feel PG-13. It felt like it was pushing it a little bit.
I forgot about 100%, bro. I was like, hold up.
I forgot about those.
I was
like, hey, yo.
I was watching this and I like grabbed the remote for a second because I was like, do I need to skip something here? That got a lot closer than than some of these other films.
Like that the cops were just like fake pulling them over, but then she did that. I was like, oh no.
Yeah. I think if we're going to I don't know if we need to be describing that. Never mind. If you watch the movie, go in with that warning. It has a lot of sexual innuendos and stuff, more than innuendos.
Not for children.
Yeah, it's just no. Don't watch it as you should be 13, but you should probably be a lot older than that.
Yeah.
Technically, PG-13 is parental guidance, 13 and above.
Yeah.
So, if we follow what the ratings say, your parents should make that decision if you're under 18. But yeah. Yeah, bro. I was like, that. It was just awkward.
Yeah, and then that but that part made the hospital scene even funnier.
It did. It was worth it for the setup and the payoff.
Oh, that was so funny.
I was just sitting.
I forgot about that too. I was cracking up.
I was just sitting there with like my hand on my head. Yeah, my hands on my head, just like, no, she's a real doctor, bro. Stop. Oh my gosh. That was funny. Oh.
Rushed. I don't know. It was probably, maybe it's just me, but it felt a little rushed, the romance aspect.
I think that's a critique on the whole movie for me. Like, the movie begins and we get our Top Gun, intro with the long lenses and the steam or whatever it is from the ground, on a hot summer's day. No, when you look in the distance, I don't know if it's a mirage, but you look in the distance and like you can basically see the heat waves.
Yeah.
Like that's classic Top Gun and Days of Thunder, I guess. And then it immediately just went to, hey, we're going to do this thing with the car. Okay, we're at the racetrack and here's the guy and he's just going to get off his bike and immediately get into the car. I was like, this like, it's moving real fast, really, really fast. And I think that was just the whole movie.
Well,
it was interesting. Someone did note that.
NASCAR is fast.
That snail is fast.
That snail is fast.
That snail is fast.
Well, it's a racing movie. I would expect it to go fast.
Yeah, but you know how story works.
Yeah.
It yeah. I mean, It's nice that the film isn't wasting time, but it also doesn't give
Yeah.
you the time to get to know everybody as well as you'd like to, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It
Yeah.
also it jumps very quickly from Tom Cruise's character and his his rival. They were
Mm-hmm.
sort of friends-ish at first, you
Yeah.
know?
Mm-hmm.
And then I think it was from basically one shot to another. They were such enemies that they were racing each other in the hospital on their wheelchairs.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was just a huge flip. And someone
Yeah.
did mention that in some of the reviews I was reading,
Mm-hmm.
that it was just like there was just no breathing room.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not a
Well,
short movie.
yeah.
What are you gonna say?
Can happen quickly. Like the way he was like bumping him, that would kind of start like a little rivalry. So I mean,
Hmm.
back on track and up to speed. I was laughing at that. I was like, what?
So, in other words, the film got the speed right, and that's about it. uh,
No, it,
hmm. Rubbin's racin. Describe that.
of course. And you happen to like get into each other, like door each other, hit each other in the bumpers. That, son, is rubbin. And rubbin is racing. That's not dirty. They're not slamming you. It's just a little rubbin.
Hmm.
Just rattle your cage a little bit.
And that's the quote for this episode. I'll have to find it later. I did enjoy the movie though.
Mm-hmm.
It was fun.
Yeah, it's a fun movie.
It's not great. It's not like this masterpiece that I'm like, oh, you need to watch this movie. But
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't very bored when watching it, which
Mm-hmm.
is good.
Yeah, it's very stimulating.
Yeah, it was also interesting, like this older era of NASCAR, because
Mm-hmm.
um, I think literally the day before I watched this movie, I was watching a NASCAR race with you at the birthday party.
Oh yeah.
And seeing it was just like a stark contrast
Mm-hmm.
because we're what 35 years difference.
Dang. Yeah.
That's crazy.
But you
So,
know it is crazy though.
hmm,
They are making a sequel for Days of Thunders in the works. So I'm wondering if
what
it's
the?
going to be like a time jump or if they're going to keep it like maybe move it to like the early 2000s or something. I don't know.
I think
But
they'll
yeah,
do a time
that's
jump
interesting.
if they want to keep Cruise in there.
Yeah.
They're probably gonna
Mm-hmm.
follow the Maverick method and just time jump him over, make him some kind of vet. It'll probably be a beat for beat remake of Maverick.
Cars 3. It'll be
Bruh.
Cars 3. It's his retirement season.
Yeah.
Some new rookie comes up.
That
He's
yeah,
like, no, I still got more in me.
they're gonna introduce electric cars into the Days of Thunder too.
Don't give NASCAR any ideas. They're already toying around with an electric SUV that
Hey,
they have a prototype already.
EVs are pretty powerful. They're just
Yeah.
nowhere near as fun.
Mm-hmm.
They're just kind of cool.
Oh, but I think you were saying something before I interrupted you because I wanted to mention the sequel.
What was I saying?
You were saying something.
Oh,
That's all I know.
That's helpful. I have no idea what I was saying. I like this movie. It was fun. My first time check was at like 21 minutes, which is below average.
Mm-hmm.
But I, I might have had to pause the movie a couple times. I can't recall exactly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I enjoyed it. I had fun. I watched
Mm-hmm.
it kind late-ish, and
Mm-hmm.
I didn't fall asleep, and I've definitely fallen asleep at plenty of other movies.
Bruh.
But yeah, my biggest issue is probably the pacing.
Yeah, I would agree. The pacing's a little off.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
not a little. Maybe
quite a
a
bit.
lot, but
Well, it might not be it's the pacing. It goes through some beats so quickly. So
mhm.
quickly. But I have noticed that a lot of older movies tend to do that, like even older
Yeah.
than the 90s. They just
Mhm.
kind of hit their beats and they're like, "Oh, we're already at our inciting incident." Um,
Transformers the movie, 1986.
I need to rewatch that. Oh yeah. Okay, I remember now. Yeah. I do need to rewatch it though. I'm not a huge
Now,
fan of the 80s aesthetic.
how dare you? You're gonna offend all the old people.
Hey, those old people are in their 40s now. Oh dang. Um no, it's just like sometimes I like, for example, 80s music, but I'm
Mhm.
definitely not a huge fan of the clothing
Oh yeah, the
and
clothing though.
and I don't really like the music too much. I'll listen to it on occasion, but it is not my preference. I would
Mhm.
rather listen to some
Mhm.
70s, 60s
Mhm.
rock and roll. Even some 90s
Mm.
rock is kind of better, late 90s for me.
But
Um,
I will say all the music on the Transformers 86 movie is great. I like all of it. They had good music choice.
it is catchy, that is for sure.
Hmm.
You got the touch. What's funny is on the call you cut out when you went you, and then it came back as don't. That was funny. I can't wait to
Word.
actually hear what you were doing later. Um, yeah. You have anything else to say about Days of Thunder?
Um. Hmm.
This might be
What
the
else is there to
world's
say?
shortest episode.
World record.
Whoa. I didn't
Ooh, I
take
didn't.
notes when watching it, so like I'm trying to like remember the movie. I watched it a couple
Mm,
days ago.
I forgot to rate it on Letterboxd. I should probably do that.
I definitely did that. Let me just look at my review. Look at you. You're so smart. Okay. Here's I'm going to go through my rating while you do yours. I said 3 stars. I like the movie. And what I wrote specifically was dramatic and a little cheesy, but I like it more than I anticipated. Makes me want to watch NASCAR. LOL. So maybe this would be my turn into watching NASCAR all of a sudden.
Ooh, the good. Join us, Jimmy. Join us.
No, you can't make
Wait.
me. Um, yeah, the movie's definitely dramatic and cheesy,
Hmm.
overly dramatic at times, but
Yeah.
it's so much. It's
Then
like
again, it's the 90s.
yeah, it's 90s and it's Top Gun for cars and it's Tom
Hmm.
Cruise. It's honestly it's just fun. That's why I
It's a
like
fun
John.
movie.
It's why I like John Woo movies because they're overly dramatic. Um,
Mm.
and it's just this drawn out drama of nothingness sometimes, but it's so fun. Like when in Face Off, John Travolta and um, Nicolas Cage are like shooting each other with the guns. They're just in a church.
In a
Each I
church.
think each of them
I
have
think
two
each of them
guns,
have two
and it's
guns,
just the most
and it's
slow
just the
mo,
most
just
slow mo, just
thing, and
thing, and
ugh, it's it's
it's
just funny to watch.
it's just funny to watch.
Me likey.
Me likey.
Word.
All right, what was your review? Are you still writing?
I'm putting 4 stars, but I'm still writing it.
Ooh, Quattro stars. Wasn't expecting that.
Well, I like the movie, but it still has its issues.
Hmm.
I think I've given all of them 5 stars, I think, that I've watched. But because, like, I've given 5 stars.
Hmm.
And that's because, like, they're all genuinely good movies. And, like, anything that is wrong is just, like, nitpicks.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I have fluctuated quite a bit in my rating,
Mm.
but yeah. Yeah.
It's not like nitpicks. It's like, okay, this is a little too fast.
Hmm.
You know, like let's give the story some more room to breathe.
Right. Which is something in episode 6, Asher, Sean, and Johnny were talking about with Columbus, and we also talked about with Yi Yi, is they're slow movies, but they let everything breathe. Now, that kind of slow movie would not work for this at all, because Yi Yi and Columbus are sort of slice of life movies. They're meant to just let you sit with a character and live in the moment with them, and that's not what Days of Thunder is. But definitely giving it more time to breathe would be good.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the writer of Days of Thunder, and he also wrote the first Mission Impossible movie.
Hmm. Interesting.
Another movie called Tequila Sunrise, another movie called The Last Detail, and a very, very popular movie, Chinatown, which, well, I don't know if it's popular, but it's highly rated. I watched it in one of my first writing classes. I don't recall it very much, so I definitely need to rewatch it. But Tom Cruise is also listed as a writer for this movie. Yeah.
Maybe he improvised some stuff, so then they had to give him writing credits.
Or he legitimately helped make it.
That could, yeah.
He's not listed as writer on Mission Impossible or Top Gun or anything like that. So I think he might have actually helped write. Yeah. He doesn't have too many writing credits. Well, he has 2 writing credits. What? Why is IMDb being so slow right now? Literally can't scroll. Okay, there we go. Yeah, Days of Thunder is his only writing credit. And then he has an upcoming movie that he has a writing credit on, but it's in pre-production.
Days of Thunder 2.
It says AC 360 Democratic Town Hall.
I mean, that could just be the working title.
Maybe. It's the secret title.
Days of Thunder 2. Let's go. I'm ready.
There is nothing on IMDb about Days of Thunder 2, so we'll see what happens. That's interesting, though. This is his only writing credit, and I wouldn't say it's his strongest movie. Maybe that's why he chose not to write anymore.
Bruh.
All right. Did you write your review?
Yes, I did.
Go ahead and read it for us.
As a NASCAR fan, I love this movie. But with that being said, the pacing is very fast, among other issues. But with that also being said, it is a very fun movie, lots of humor, and a good time overall. I think that pretty much sums it up.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Oh, I need to add a quote.
Oh, I noticed everyone started doing that. I don't want to do that. Are you doing the rubbin thing?
Yeah. And Robinson is racing.
I mentioned this to you earlier, but I started doing quotes from the films as the first line in the descriptions of the films. And also those same quotes, as long as I can keep this up, hopefully I can do it for every movie, but will be the audio clip will play as like the last thing you hear in each episode. So we'll see how it goes. For this episode, I think it'll be the 4th time I would have done it by the time this comes out. So it'll be cool. Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, baby.
Yeah. Sick. Well, we talked about Days of Thunder. What else should we talk about? You wanna talk about NASCAR? That's true. We went way too fast. I think we learned the wrong lesson from the movie.
Or the right one. Who knows?
I think it's the wrong one. I mean, nah, we're pretty quick in sharing our thoughts a lot of times. Yeah.
Thrice as long.
For sure. And I think our examinations are fairly simple. The movie, it's fun. It's nothing special.
Yeah.
Yeah. Talk to us about the accuracies and inaccuracies of Days of Thunder with NASCAR. Like everything. Break it down.
Something that was realistic though was him getting like suspended and after crashing into what was that dude's name in the 18, the new guy that like took over his ride for a little bit, like he substituted for him.
His name is I have no idea. I don't know if I can look it up here. They just have names here. How am I supposed to know who's who? I suck with names.
I'm gonna look up the cast. Well, actually, he probably doesn't even look the same.
Probably got an old photo of him.
Well, it's someone. It was the guy in the in the yellow and blue.
Yeah, if you watch the movie, it's the guy that takes over for him.
Yeah.
So basically, Tom Cruise's character, his name is Cole, gets into this big accident together with his rival.
Yes.
And he ends up in the hospital for some time, and he has to go through a process of recovery. He needs to get approval from his doctor, which, by the way, he ends up falling in love with his doctor.
The first rival's Rowdy Burns. I'm talking about the other one, the young dude from earlier.
I'm aware. I'm getting there.
Okay.
So then, basically, while he's in the process of getting approval, and his first rival is basically never going to get the approval, his the company that sponsors him, I guess, or that owns the car, replaces him essentially. And then when he comes back, they become rivals towards the end of the film. Yeah. I can imagine
And
they're spending the money.
Yeah,
With what?
even though they might like the other person, they might let the other person have like a better engine or better parts, or let them get away with certain things that they wouldn't let the other one get away with. So that part actually is fairly realistic.
That doesn't sound fair. Okay.
But it is realistic, so I will say that. Let's see, what else?
What about the pit stops that we see in the movie?
Time when there was no pit road speed limit. I'm gonna look it up now.
I was thinking about that. I was like, this guy's just like full on
flooring it.
Yeah. I was like, I thought there was a limit on that track.
I'm looking it up right now.
He's looking it up. Do 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 do.
Oh, 1991, after the movie came out.
Bruh. Well, that explains a lot. And they probably shot this movie in 89 at the latest.
Driver, like, driving the car during, like, an actual race. Like, it wasn't just, like, they like, shot it when the track was empty and, like, sequences with like a bunch of cars going by, and like you see that one, like that was like during an actual race.
So do you think that vehicle was legitimately racing, or it was just in the race and it didn't count towards anything?
Well, it was like a lower like budget team, so like they were just kind of like cruising
Interesting.
towards the back, like they weren't really competitive,
right? Yeah, that's what I was asking, if like Right. That's
They
crazy.
still had to have some decent speed, but yeah, for some of the scenes, it was like they shot it during the actual race.
Huh. I didn't even like think about that at all of how they shot it with all those people, because I think today, you know,
That would have been all CGI.
yeah, I mean the crowd would have been CG, yeah, except for maybe some close-ups. I mean they do that in Ford v Ferrari, they do it definitely in Gran Turismo.
Yeah.
Where yeah, you'll get a group of people, but it's nowhere near enough. And then you get the track empty and you kind of just run it and get what you need to get and CG whatever you need to CG. I didn't even realize, oh wait, the stadium's full. They definitely did not, add the crowd in later.
Yeah,
Huh.
so a lot of
That's
those
cool.
like what's it, like grandiose shots were like all during like actual races.
Huh. That's really lit, bro.
Mm-hmm.
What other tidbits do you have about this movie? Because now I'm intrigued.
Ooh. Let's see what else.
So while Israel is figuring out some more tidbits regarding this film and NASCAR, Israel actually runs his own YouTube channel that is, believe it or not, focused on NASCAR. It actually started as something me and him started a while ago. I think you started it first and I joined. Yeah, and it was initially Minecraft, and then...
And it had some of our other cousins on it.
Yeah, I had some cousins on it. And then I just ended up not doing it anymore. No one else did it. And he was like, well, I like NASCAR and I'm going to turn this into NASCAR. And it has become...
And I kept the name because I had already gotten enough subscribers by then that like there's no point changing it.
Yeah. So now Israel has a decent following. So if you like NASCAR and want to see some more stuff, check him out. His YouTube channel is The Super Squad. The logo is this race car S. It looks cool.
Big red S.
Big red S. Yeah. Gotta say that very clearly. Big red S.
Kind of looks like a 5 at times.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
But you know, it fits.
So again, check his channel out if you'd like. He does a lot of paint scheme reviews all the time. Don't you do like memes? Predictions as well?
Yeah, I predict who's going to win the race. That was so fun last week. So remember how like there were like qualifying races?
Mm-hmm.
Like the top 2 finishers would make it in. Mm-hmm. So because I... Literally, they have that thing at like 6:30. As soon as that race finishes and I confirmed like who got in, I immediately started recording my winner prediction video with all the people. And I got it out like 10 minutes before their actual race started.
That's crazy.
And a decent amount of people actually watched it before the race started too. Right. I got like 100 before the race started.
Oh, nice. Prediction videos are always cool to watch after something happens, because then you can see, you know,
and I guess the winner right too.
Oh, look at you! You're pretty good at that, though. Right?
I mean, at least they will run good.
Mm-hmm.
Or they had the potential to run good, but like something like there was an issue like with the car, like. So,
interesting.
I'm just saying.
Well, you get it what you do. So check Israel out, the Super Squad on YouTube's.
Yes, sir.
Do you have any other do you have social media accounts for that channel, or is it just YouTube?
Yeah, YouTube's the main one. I do have a Twitter. That's
it's called X, buddy. Oh, dang.
People just keep pressing the follow button. I don't know why. I get like a couple like banger tweets that get like thousands of likes, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
What? You never told me about this.
I mean, because it's Twitter. I mean, it's not that big a deal.
What's Twitter?
I don't. X, sorry.
I don't give a crap. I'm not on it anymore.
I didn't even realize I had 4,000 until I checked now. I thought I was still at like 3,000.
That's
I
wow.
just pulled it up.
Like 3,000 to nothing. That's funny. So I'm
No, because
assuming
I was just
that's
used to saying the 3.
yeah.
You know.
Still, that's crazy. You've gotten real good at what you do, buddy.
I guess so.
You guess so. I'm assuming that
All right.
handle for that is the Super Squad as well.
Yeah. Everything should be the Super Squad.
So for those
Except
of
like
you,
the Facebook. I think that's like Superpower 300, but that's because I couldn't change it.
oh dang, that's
Or it's
old.
like this Super Squad YT or something. I don't know. Something like that.
Okay, well, if for some reason you want to follow him on Facebook, you can check it out there. But if you're on X, you can obviously look for the Super Squad, and YouTube, the Super Squad.
Yeah, I mean, the links to everything are all on the YouTube channel. So
In fact,
just go to the About page.
I will put a link to the YouTube channel in the description of this episode. So, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, you got more tidbits for us?
Yes, I do. So
Bet.
I think I found a reason why the movie was felt rushed.
Okay.
So production began without a finished script.
Oh, that's not the first time Tom Cruise has done that. Oh my gosh.
To his windshield, which resulted in a minor car accident.
Bruh.
Oh, for his subsequent driving sequences, Cruise was fitted with a special earpiece to have lines fed to him.
That's ridiculous. So, you were on the Edge of Tomorrow episode, right?
Which one was that again?
Edge of Tomorrow, episode 3, I think.
I think I might have missed that one.
Oh, dang. That was the beginning of your missing episodes.
Yeah, but then I was gonna do the week after because I watched True Grit, but then I couldn't be on the episode. But yeah,
So Edge of Tomorrow had the same thing. Tom Cruise signed on, no finished script. Pre-production and production started, no finished script. Tom Cruise seems to like it that way. So that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, that's why he's credited as a writer.
Yep.
Because he had to help write stuff on the spot.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. It explains a lot. I mean, there are plenty of good movies that do the same thing. Edge of Tomorrow, just mentioned it. Iron Man also did that. Where they wrote on the spot Jon Favreau and Robert Downey Jr. and Jeff Bridges just sitting there, and the other writers, I can't remember their names at the moment. I'm really sorry. And the movie came out great, like exceptional. Like it is beyond a good superhero movie. It's just a good movie. But I think this is an area where it faltered for sure. Interesting. What else do you got for us?
All right, so you know how I was talking about how scenes were shot during an actual race?
Yeah.
And there were actually like Tom Cruise's car. Like
they had a camera on them?
Yeah, they had a camera on them and they weren't scored for the race. Like they were just driving on the track, but they weren't actually like in the race.
Right. That's interesting.
Because usually it's just the actual cars on the track unless there's a caution where, you know, the pace car comes out, but that's it.
Right.
So that's crazy.
Has it that ever been done since? Like, have they done it again since then?
They might have done it for Talladega Nights, but I don't think so.
Huh. Interesting.
But
I wonder how risky that was. I mean, it was obviously very risky, but
I mean, there were actual NASCAR drivers driving the cars.
So
like it was like
what, 2 unmarked cars that were there with cameras on them, right, to capture stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Precisely.
Did they have? Do you know if they had the cameras inside or if they were like outside mounted cameras or something?
They were probably outside mounted, I'd assume.
That's crazy. Huh.
Taped, glued, nailed, screwed down really good.
Could you imagine nailing something to your car?
Suctioned on something to keep it on.
Oh, there it is. I just Googled Days of Thunder behind the scenes. Although I put BTS and half of the photos are that band.
Bruh.
So it looks
That's
like for
funny.
the solo vehicle stuff, they did the traditional mounting the camera on the outside of the car. They took the hood off though
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
mounted it directly to the frame basically.
Oh, but like the scenes where
Oh yeah, it's definitely mounted on the outside. Uh-huh.
like it wasn't filmed at like an actual race,
Mhm.
Tom Cruise is actually the one driving.
That makes sense. It's Tom Cruise.
Yeah. So actually, one of the I think sometime before the race, um, or before the movie, sorry, not before the race. Sometime before the movie, Tom Cruise got the opportunity, along with Paul Newman, to test one of Rick Hendrick's cars at one of the tracks, and his first lap was in excess of 180 miles an hour.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm. Tom Cruise doing Tom Cruise things.
Have you heard the I'm about to say a story and I don't even know these guys' names. Give me 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
I need to get a guy's name real quick. Okay. Miles Teller, he's in Top Gun Maverick. And he was telling the story on, I don't know if it was Jimmy Fallon's talk show or what's the other Jimmy? Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah.
But he was like, oh yeah, I went to the doctor and basically I have engine fuel in my blood. And then I went over, I talked to Tom Cruise. I was like, oh, I got engine fuel. And then Tom Cruise was like, yeah, I was born with it, buddy. The guy flies so much. He has engine
Bruh.
fuel in his blood. Oh, I see a review on Letterboxd now. Like. I watched this movie on Pluto because I don't have Paramount.
Yeah, I watch it on Pluto too.
Pluto's a pretty good service. Underrated.
Mm-hmm. Wouldn't like open up the screen.
I
I don't
would
know, it was weird.
press a key on my remote to like see how much time is left on it. And it would like show me the progress bar. And then immediately if I press the back button to like, you know how you can normally on your TV remote press the back button when you're looking at the progress bar and it hides the progress bar?
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't do that. It would then back out of the film. But
Bruh.
it would put it into this small pip or picture in picture, right? And I
Mhm.
couldn't open it. I had to go back to the movie and press play, and then it would just resize the pip full screen. I was like, that's
Bruh.
confusing. It's a cool service, and I like that I can watch free stuff. Its interface is just weird.
Mm.
I
Interesting.
we watched 12 Angry Men on Tubi, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm trying to think of when was the last time I used Pluto for anything other than Days of Thunder. But
Yeah, I think I downloaded it and I think I just used it for the first time for that. Like, cause I've been had it, I just never used it.
same. I was like, oh, free stuff. And then every time I see something that's on Pluto, I'm like, cool, I can watch it. And I just never get around to it. It's interesting.
Bruh.
Bruh. Any more interesting facts or accuracies versus inaccuracies?
Ooh, so
Or just NASCAR
you know what?
stuff you want to say?
You know something they forgot to shoot
Hmm.
for during the movie?
What?
They forgot to shoot Cole's car crossing the finish line at Daytona. You don't see it.
You're right. It just goes from him getting up to it to suddenly holding the flag.
Mm-hmm. They forgot to shoot that whole scene.
So that's why it's not in there.
Yeah, that's literally why it's not in there. They forgot to shoot it, and they couldn't go back to Daytona to shoot it.
That's funny.
And they realized after they like were in like editing mode already.
Post production.
Yeah, post production.
That's I mean, it wasn't necessary.
Yeah, it wasn't necessary, but that was a really
Necessarily.
weird cut. I watched. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, I did. That's why that fell off. Huh. That's cool.
Mhm.
Interesting. It's always the worst when you forget to grab something on set.
Mm-hmm.
But at least it wasn't like the most important thing.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been real nice. It would have
Yeah.
been a sick shot. But they definitely they compensated for it, if you will.
Mm.
That was cool.
Mm-hmm. Well, there were a lot of NASCAR like driver cameos in the movie. Obviously, if you've seen Cars, you would have known that the King, Richard Petty, who the King is based on in Cars,
Oh,
and
the
that's his
king.
actual nickname in real life too. He appeared in the movie for a little bit at the
What?
beginning. Yeah, he was in the movie.
Where?
At the very beginning, like at the first race.
Yo. That's cool. I love the king. He's my favorite character from Cars.
Yeah, he was in the movie, and that's his
Oh.
actual like nickname in real life too. Like before like Cars.
Does he also voice him in Cars?
Yes.
Yo. I remember
Or wait.
one Christmas. I we were, you know how we always went to Abuela's for
Mhm.
Christmas. And, you know, my family would open our gifts, like our immediate family's gifts, Christmas morning. But Christmas Eve, we'd all
Mhm.
get together, right? So then one year,
Mhm.
this is like 1 year, my parents were like, all right, you can open one gift from under the Christmas tree before we go over to Abuela's.
Mhm.
And there was you know, the classic car toy box shape.
Mhm.
I saw that under the tree and I was like, I'm opening that one. So I
Mhm.
grabbed the gift and I open it and it was the king, okay,
Mm.
from Cars. Just
Mhm.
beautiful blue, nice heavy metal, you know, the way the
Mhm.
Cars toys should always be made. They're still making.
Like the NASCAR ones, and they're still
Oh,
making Pixar ones too.
yeah, the Pixar is still making them. They do make some metal ones now, but they say made of metal on them instead
Mhm.
of that just being the standard. I
Yeah,
get
and the
though.
metal ones are significantly more expensive now too.
Yeah, but you know, prices also hike up. Like there's multiple factors
Yeah.
that play into it, but I feel like
Mhm.
toys were just higher quality
Although there
in
are
general.
certain companies who make the metal as like the only version, and they're cheaper than the plastic ones, and they're better quality. So
Well, in that case, I don't know what the excuse is.
greed. That's the excuse.
I mean, the plastic probably is cheaper to make,
Yeah. But
but they hike up the price for sure to make a higher, more profit on it.
mhm.
Either way, the story I was getting at is I think I lost that toy the same night, and I
Bruh.
have absolutely no idea where it went, and it like devastated me, and I still think about it sometimes, and
Bruh.
I'm like, that car was my favorite one, and I have no freaking idea where it is.
I still have my the king and the real ones.
Stop rubbing it in. Yeah, I miss that. I miss that toy. And I'm not buying
Bruh.
another one. It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing.
Don't worry, you can hold mine. It's okay.
Thank you. uh, I think I butted in on something you were gonna say earlier. Do you happen to remember what that was?
Uh, no clue.
I've yeah, interesting. I don't know why I said interesting. My mind like blanked for a second. It was the only word that came to mind.
Oh, um, okay. I do have another fun fact.
Okay.
So, you know, what do you call it? John C. Riley, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So in this movie, he played a pit crew member, or not a crew, yeah, a pit crew member. And then, so this was in 1990, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
and then in 2006, he also voiced a pit crew member that also turned into a NASCAR driver in Talladega Nights.
I see that. I was like pulling up Talladega Nights because I was like, I think he's in that movie while you were
Mm-hmm.
saying that. This movie came out the same year as Cars.
Yeah, two NASCAR movies in 1 year. but one was significantly better. And that was
Talladega
Cars.
Nights. Never seen this movie. I'm not even gonna add it to my watch list. It doesn't look interesting to me.
It's
The
funny, but
Ballad
that's
of
about
Ricky
it.
Bobby. Man, I've seen like some clips from it. I'm just not
Yeah,
interested.
it has a couple funny quotes, but
Hmm.
that's about it.
If you put it on the watch list, then obviously I'll end up seeing it. But
What if I do that on
oh
purpose?
no, bro, it's streaming on Hulu right now. Oh boy,
Which means it's also on Disney Plus.
if you have the Hulu subscription, yeah.
Well, true.
Hulu now shows up on Disney Plus even if you don't have the Hulu plus Disney Plus.
Bruh.
So I'm sitting there like, so I have both accounts, but my sister has Disney and I have Hulu, so they're obviously
Mhm.
not merged.
Mhm.
So I'm like sitting in Disney Plus, just like, oh, I could watch The Bear. Oh, never mind. I have to open Hulu, but it's fine because I think I
Bruh.
prefer Hulu's interface to Disney Plus's interface.
Hmm.
So,
I have it the other way around.
really, you prefer Disney's?
Yeah.
How come?
I don't know, it seems more like refined to me, I think.
Hmm.
I don't know.
For
Maybe
me,
it's just me.
Disney almost feels a little too simplistic of an interface. I
Mm.
think is my issue. I will say my all-time favorite media player interface is probably Netflix.
Yeah, I mean, it's the classic.
Yeah, and they've definitely mastered that. Having
Mhm.
volume and brightness controls built in, you don't even have to tap the screen, like all the necessary buttons. It's just right there.
Mhm.
And you can't just
Yeah.
blatantly rip it off. Like you can't.
Mhm. You have to change it.
Yeah. Which sucks because I just want that interface everywhere else.
Everything. Mhm.
I'm not a huge fan of the rest of Netflix's interface. Like it's fine, but I'm not
Mhm.
sure there's any UI on any streaming service that I'm like, oh yeah, this is amazing. They all
Yeah.
have their flaws. They're all weird.
I will say I do like how Netflix has its own brightness, like on the phone. Like
Yeah.
it has its own brightness separate from the phone brightness. I do like that.
Yeah. That's the thing that pops up in the player, right? That's interesting.
If I have my phone bright, like let's say I have my phone brightness all the way up,
Mm-hmm.
and like the Netflix one all the way down. Let's just say that it'll waste as if the brightness was 100%. But if I put my phone brightness all the way down and the Netflix one 100%, it will waste significantly slower. It's so weird.
A part of me wants to say that that's just in your head, but I don't have Netflix anymore, so I can't even try it, bruh.
I was hoping you got that.
My my second favorite UI is probably Prime Video.
That one's good. I like that one.
Yeah, I don't know if they kept it anymore, but the primary reason why it was my favorite, my second favorite, was because you used to be able to just swipe left and right to skip forward and backwards. And while it's not fast, I kind of prefer it. Like I can just be watching something, I just swipe, and I'm 10 seconds ahead or 10 seconds back.
Oh, that's another thing with Pluto. Like I would accidentally like skip 15 seconds. I'm like, no.
Wait, how?
No. Like because I was watching it on my phone. Because I was like multitasking. But like I would press the screen because like I would like just check to see like if I got like any like important messages, or like emails or something. And I'd press it once and it would like accidentally like skip 15 seconds. Like, what are you doing?
That's weird. I don't even have Pluto on my phone. I was watching on my Apple TV. I'm downloading it now though, so I can try playing something. Ask app not to track. Pluto TV. So last time I checked, I can't remember exactly. They had actually gotten rid of, I think they got rid of the swiping gesture, or there used to be where if you just tapped in the middle of the screen, on Prime Video,
Mhm.
it would pause and bring up the
Mhm.
controls, and then if you pressed play, it would resume and immediately hide the controls. And it was exactly what I wanted out of my play and pause controls. Speaking of Face Off, it's on Pluto right now. Play. I don't know what you're doing, but this interface is not doing that to me. Like I'm tapping and stuff, and it ain't doing anything.
No, maybe it was just tripping for me.
Maybe. Interesting. I might keep Pluto downloaded.
Maybe it's like a bug. Maybe it's a bug that
Could
they
be.
need to update.
Or you're just clumsy.
Bruh.
Yeah. How did we get to UI?
Pluto. We were talking about Pluto. How we never used it until now, and then yeah.
So these free services like Tubi and Pluto tend to have like really bad interfaces, but as long as you can play the movie, yes, very much so. You know, nothing is ever truly free. So, despite the fact that I didn't spend money watching the movie necessarily, it costs money to get the movie there.
Yeah.
So those advertisements pay for it, and in a way, I paid for the free by having to endure the ads. But I just pause it and pull up my phone, or not pause it, but mute it and pull up my phone or something, or walk away, get a drink, use the bathroom. I think almost all of my streaming services have ads, so I've just gotten used to it.
I would rather them all have ads but be free.
Or at least much cheaper.
Yeah.
Like cable, which is coming back, was pretty pricey ish, but you got a lot of stuff. And you still occasionally got ads, I think. Depends on the cable package you got, but
yeah.
It was more about the quantity and quality of stuff you got that despite the ads is what allowed it to not be $1,000 a month.
Yeah.
So I think
all I'm saying. Huh?
No, go ahead.
No, you first.
I forgot what I was gonna say already, so
Bruh. I was just gonna make a joke.
Make your joke.
All right, well, I was going to say, freedom is the right of all sentient beings. That's it.
Transformers.
Robots in disguise.
We're not going to get another Transformers 1 movie.
No, I'm holding hope.
Well,
The director and all the people who worked on the movie want to make a sequel. That's all I know. And the voice actors want to make a sequel. So literally all we need is Hasbro or Paramount to cough up some dough, or some
Hasbro
rich person who likes Transformers.
I wish I was rich, and I would just be like, we're making this.
I would, if I was rich, I would fund 100 Transformers 1 sequels.
If I were a rich
Transformers 1 cinematic universe. That's what I would fund.
Bruh. I wouldn't. I don't know, if I was rich or infinite amount of money, I would not invest everything into making a ton of sequels, because I'm not a huge fan of just seeing a bunch of sequels. I would definitely invest into a lot of original content, a lot of short films, experimental films, just let people figure stuff out and see what works and what doesn't.
Yeah.
I think that's important. It's what we need right now. But I would most definitely be investing in big franchises like Transformers, like DC, like insert franchise here. Not all of them, but many. Just because, yeah, they make money and they are fun movies. And ultimately, you know, you got to make your big blockbusters to pay for your smaller films.
And if you had, like, let's say unlimited money, you could fund, like, the good people to do it. Like, have it not be rushed.
Right.
Like, you know? Mm-hmm. So they could all actually come out really good.
There's this...
hire the best writers, the best whatever, and yeah.
It's not even about that. That's why I want to do... I mean, it is, but it's why I want to do experimental things. Like this, when I produce films, I want to invest into to students and people with unique ideas, because not everything's going to work, and that's a given. And people not liking something doesn't like make your writing bad or doesn't make the film bad, but ultimately, and you got to create your thing, right? Like I was talking with Sean. No, I wasn't talking to Sean. I was editing the Columbus episode. I feel like I was in the conversation with them when I was editing. But Sean was like, I don't, and Johnny too, I don't make the movies for the audience. I make it for me, and that's
For
fine.
me.
And we need plenty of movies that are made for you because it inspires plenty of people. But you do need to make movies that, I realized I was rambling. We need to make movies that make money. So you want to hire the best writers for that, but you also need to let people experiment so that way they can figure out their writing style and you can find the new best writers. That's what I was trying to say. And I was rambling like crazy because I'm very tired and I lost track of what I was saying for a minute there.
Bruh.
Oh my gosh, bro. I have to be at work at 7 a.m. tomorrow.
So do I.
12 hours from now. Oh yeah, you're working with me.
Bruh.
And then I'll be there all freaking day.
Hey, you get to leave by like 12.
No, sir. I clock out at 12.
Oh, wait, yeah, no. Oh, you're doing... Yeah, I forgot, yeah.
I clock out at 12, but then there's a wrestling match that I have to... I don't have to be there the whole match, but I have to be there at the beginning, and that doesn't start till 4:30. So I may or may not clock out at 12. I will definitely eat lunch, though. Well, we're definitely over an hour at this point.
Yep.
We've met our quota. Haha. No, we're both tired. This was fun though. I like after back-to-back days of doing a bunch of stuff. I look forward to this week, or this time each week because it's just a time to sit down and talk about movies and stuff.
Yep.
What's
next?
Talk about next week's movies, shall we? At this point, it looks like I may not be able to be on next week's episode just because I will have 3-4 days of back-to-back nonstop stuff. And we're going to recording is scheduled for right in the middle of it. So if I'm not on the episode, I'm sorry. But I will definitely be watching the movie because I've been looking forward to this. And that movie, episode 9, is Lawrence of Arabia.
Ooh.
Yeah. Guess how long the movie is, Isra? Dang it. It is...
Minutes.
Yes. Released in 1962, and it has a PG rating from director David Lean. I've never seen the movie. I've heard a lot. Well, I haven't actually heard a lot about it. I just know it's as highly regarded, really. But do you want to read the synopsis? This is pulled from Letterboxd.
Sure. So, Nothing is Written, the story of British officer T.E. Lawrence's mission to aid the Arab tribes in their revolt against the Ottoman Empire during the First World War. Lawrence becomes a flamboyant, messianic figure in the cause of Arab unity, but his psychological instability threatens to undermine his achievements.
Boom. Yeah, definitely sounds interesting. Asher picked this movie. He was very excited. He was like, "Ooh, guys, I found my movie." That was a horrible impression of Asher. My bad, Asher. But yeah, he picked this movie and he's very excited for it. As of right now, recording this, which is February 5th, this film is streaming on Max. It's also... No, it's on Max. He was showing me some bundles here. It was like Hulu and Max. Well, that's Max. So yeah, if you want to watch it and you have Max, you can watch it there. You can also rent it pretty much anywhere. Right now it is $4 for up to 4K. And currently it is not on sale. So $15 purchase. Most of them at 4K quality. That's pretty cool. It's at 4K. I said 4K a lot. Yeah. So that's next week's movie. It's a long movie, so if you want to watch it before the episode comes out, do that. You might have to watch it in pieces. I definitely will be watching it in pieces. So, before we officially end the episode, we have to do a random movie recommendation.
Ooh, I
So
did not think of that.
you're gonna have to figure one out, Isra. I can do mine first if you like.
Sure, yeah.
Okay. My recommendation. Oh. Did I mention that last week? I can't remember. Okay, I'm going to make two recommendations. I need to start remembering what I've been saying. Okay. The first one, the one I know I haven't mentioned because I watched it this week, is Bicentennial Man, which came out in 1999, starring Robin Williams as a robot. Robot from 2005, by the way. But the future is like more futuristic than now. So 20 years ago is more futuristic than the actual now. It's really cool though. It is a robot that is, guess what, more advanced than the other robots that are just like it.
No way.
Yeah, it just happens to be smarter. But it's a fun movie. I love it. I gave it 5 stars. It's got a love story. The guy, the robot learns emotions, and he actually
It's like every other robot
spends hundreds of years like building his rebuilding his body basically, and he gives him with the help of a friend that he makes along the way, he gives himself like an actual beating heart and lungs and basically blood and skin, and he can feel things. And the movie is a bit more raunchy than you might anticipate.
Ooh.
So when I say he can feel things, yes. So keep that in mind when you go into the film. Okay. He's very interested in every aspect of being a human. It's quite interesting, but it is a great film. I love it. My other recommendation, which I can't remember if I mentioned it last week or not, and if I didn't, I'm recommending it now.
Dang, how many do I have to recommend?
You can do as many as you want. I'm just doing 2 because I need to get this one out.
Oh, okay.
Loving Vincent from 2017. Okay. I have mentioned this movie way too many times to too many people, and to my sister, I've mentioned it probably like 1,000 times. But it is a gorgeous movie. It is an animated movie, but it is hand oil painted. Okay, by 100 artists, by the in the Van Gogh style.
Interesting.
Okay? So they actually shot the film in sort of a green screen or makeshift sets, because they wanted to basically not have to have the painters have to animate, but basically just paint each frame. So it's a gorgeous movie. Recommend watching it. It's currently free on Prime Video. Hopefully it stays that way, but I love it. Also gave it 5 stars, and it's from 2017. It is definitely a love letter to Vincent van Gogh.
Interesting.
That's the end of my recommendations.
Okay, I have one. I actually watched this one before I watched Days of Thunder because I had to watch it for a class. I was not expecting it to be any good, but I actually really enjoyed it. It is called Cinderella Man. It came out in 2005. It is about an ex-boxer, James Braddock, and this is based on a true story. It's during the Great Depression. He works as a day laborer until his former manager offers him a one-time slot against a rising young contender, and after he wins a shocking upset, Braddock goes into the ring full-time, and he does pretty good. Until eventually he has to fight like some really like the champion, like the best of the best, and yeah, it's a pretty good movie. I was not expecting it to be as good as it was.
Bet.
Maybe I'll put it as my next movie for this, so I can actually talk about it without spoilers.
I mean, you can. Yeah, no, don't spoil it right now. I just added it to my watch list. It's currently streaming on Netflix if you guys want to watch it, and it's on sale right now. Actually, it's $5. HD is no 4K version. Ooh, right under it is 2015 Cinderella. Also on sale, $10. And it's streaming on Disney. There's a lot of Cinderellas. Holy crap.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Wolfman is not Cinderella. Oh, man. Cinderella Man. Got it.
Right.
My boss gave me a recommendation to watch IP Man. So if anybody wants to check that out, there you go. All right. Well, thank you for listening to this week's episode where we talked about the movie called Days of Thunder, recommended by Israel. This was a fun episode. I think it was a little different than the previous ones, but I like that I got to pick your brain about NASCAR and you just got to sort of word vomit NASCAR stuff, which was fun to listen to.
And that wasn't even the most I could do. I could do a lot more.
Then you should recommend another NASCAR movie at some point. And
Talladega
Nights. Yes, recommend Talladega Nights, and then just like tell us everything.
Rip it
The
apart.
whole episode is just you talking. That'd be funny.
Bruh.
If you haven't already, you can follow us on Instagram at watchlist.podcast, and you can follow us or subscribe to the podcast on pretty much any platform. Spotify, Overcast, Apple Podcasts. What else is there? YouTube. We are not on Amazon because I don't feel like going through that approval process. And I think Google Podcast is just YouTube podcast at this point, which is technically YouTube Music. But yeah, you can follow us there. And on Spotify, and on YouTube, Spotify and YouTube, you can definitely leave comments. So if you have movie recommendations, go ahead and make them, and we'll add them to our watch lists, most likely, if they're not already there. And maybe they'll end up in an episode at some point.
Ooh.
Y'all, thanks for listening.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
No, he didn't slam you, he didn't bump you, he didn't nudge you, he rubbed you. And rubbing, son, is racing.